Neediness, neediness is gross. I don't care what other people say on YouTube or on other platforms. There's this trend nowadays where you tend to accept everything that is wrong with you and you accept it as a strength. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of people are saying it's okay to be needy. We're human beings. We're dependent on each other. It's okay to be needy. It's just modern society
Society.
that is making neediness a vice or something like that. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say that. You know why? Because first of all, you found this video for a legitimate reason. You were looking for how to overcome your neediness, right? So you recognize that you had a problem with neediness and you're seeking solutions. And just saying that that's completely wrong is calling you an idiot. And I don't think you're an idiot. I think you're smarter than you think you are. And the second reason I'm not going to do that is if you want to help somebody, let's say you want to help somebody who's obese, it's not okay to go to them and say, you know what, man, it's okay to be overweight, you have to be body positive. This dude is dying from health issues, and you go and you tell them it's okay to be overweight. You have to accept yourself. No. You're lying to them. You're not doing any service to this person, right? So I'm not going to do that. Neediness is a problem. It needs to be addressed. But before I go any further, I want to challenge you with a question here. So you're looking for answers for your neediness, right? But let me ask you this, right? How did you determine that you have a problem with neediness, right? Is it something that you just heard from the mouth of a girl or a guy saying, oh, he's so needy? Because you have to be careful with that. People just throw around terms like, he's so needy, she's so needy. It's just something, a label used to dismiss somebody. It does not mean that you're needy. It does not always mean that you're needy. So you have to be careful with that, right? Or maybe you got this feedback consistently that you project this needy vibe. Then maybe this video can help you, right? So what is neediness, right? You're needy when you want something to happen so bad in order to feel a certain way, right? I need to fuck that girl so I can feel validated, or I need to go out with this guy so because he will complete my life. I need to get that promotion so bad, or that job so bad, or that commission so bad, in order to feel a certain way. So you're being needy when you're super attached to an outcome, right? So this is basically what neediness in essence is. But what you need to realize is that when you're interacting with people, the other person, does not necessarily know your motives. They're only exposed to your behavior. They're only exposed to the energy you're giving out. Okay? So when you're being needy internally, you're projecting a certain type of energy that is repelling to the other person, that is perceived as negative to the other person, right? Again, it can be in all types of situations. It can be in a romantic situation. It could be in a job interview. It could be in any situation. You're projecting that negative energy. This energy, if you try to describe it, it's the same type of energy no matter what your motives are. This needy energy comes from this attachment to outcome. But like I said previously in this message, you have to be careful with this term needy and neediness, right? Like, because people throw this term around just in case, just to insult somebody or try to put them in a certain box or to put a label on them or, to dismiss them. They call them needy, right? And in some cases, just for a lack of vocabulary, like he's needy or she's needy. It does not mean that you're needy. It does not mean that you suffer from the same, condition that we're talking about here. But let's assume it's actually neediness. It's actually attachment to this outcome, right? When you have this energy, sometimes you hear that, the person says, well, I don't know his deal or her deal, but I can smell their neediness miles away, right? Like, I don't know if you're familiar with this. Like this neediness, like this energy can be felt. You don't have to even interact with the person. You can just be present in the room, and people, if you're needy, people in the room will pick up on your needy energy. Okay? You don't even need to interact with them one-to-one. And people hate this needy energy and want to stay away from it as much as possible because it's a trapping energy. So when somebody's needy, you automatically feel that if you comply with them, you will become the center of their world. And that means that it puts a lot of expectations on you as an individual, and it strips you away from your freedom. Nobody wants to be trapped. Maybe, like you could be telling yourself right now, well, I don't want to trap anybody. No, probably not, right? But your energy is projecting that. And people don't want to be trapped. People don't want to be imprisoned. People don't want to be pushed to do something. Instead, they want to be seduced, ultimately make decisions themselves, okay? So this is why this energy is so nasty, okay? So the good news is that, if you're projecting this energy, it's just something that you're projecting, right? There are ways, it's just a pattern of behavior. And like any other pattern of behavior, it can be changed. That's the good news. From my experience, minimizing neediness or even completely removing neediness and getting rid of it is definitely 100%, no doubt, possible, okay? The less good news is that it can take some time. Why? The reason for that is because removing neediness or getting rid of neediness or overcoming neediness is a process. It's a process that should start from you, from looking at yourself, looking at your, beliefs, your convictions, your habits. There's so many things that need to be looked at in order to ultimately remove, get rid of that neediness. It's a matter of treating the cause rather than the effect. It's a matter of treating the root cause rather than the symptoms. Because if you keep looking at the symptoms, well, I'm you're needy, so you're nervous, you're, behaving a certain way. Those are the symptoms, right? If you start looking at the symptoms, you're not going to be effective. You have to look at the origin of these behaviors. So again, it's a process. It requires work on your side. And obviously, the more deep-rooted these convictions and beliefs that you have that are causing neediness, the more deep-rooted in your personality and ingrained into your past. Maybe it started way when you were a child, your parents fucked you up a certain way. The longer back it goes, the harder it is to take, to eradicate. But today is your lucky day, because today I'm going to give you 2 tips that are going to help you no matter how hard your case of neediness is. Okay, you can think of them as hacks because they work no matter what. Tip number 1, have purpose. What I mean by that is have a larger goal or mission in life that you're trying to achieve. Okay? When you have that in the back of your mind, when you go about your life, interacting with people, trying to date people, trying to get, job opportunities, business transaction, whatever it is, when you have a larger purpose in life, it helps you guide your internal, compass, if you will. And it gives you a sense of boundaries, okay? It allows you to set boundaries with people in terms of what types of behavior you're willing to accept from the other person and what you're not willing to accept, okay? And what that means, when you have that certain level of boundaries, even if you're needy, it makes it look, to the other person, it makes it look like you're grounded, you're not needy, and that's just the way you are. You're persistent. Okay, so even if you're being on the edge of being needy, but you have boundaries and you're willing to walk away from certain things, it makes it look like you're not needy at all. And over time, if you apply this, this tip, it's kind of like fake it till you make it. This tip will help you, periodically and little by little get rid of your neediness. Okay, so have purpose. And tip number 2 And it's probably the easier out of the two hacks that I'm giving you today. And that is have options. Okay? Having purpose is something that is difficult, and you can only you have to get to a certain level of maturity to realize what your true purpose in life is. Okay? But having options is less difficult and it's more, attainable. What does that mean to have options? Have alternatives. Okay, that's what I mean. If let's say you're trying to date a girl or a guy, or you're going into a job interview, or you already have a job, and, people can detect just from your eyes, from your energy, from the way you speak, if you have options. So have options. And that's why, you see most girls are attracted to players. Why? Because they have options. Okay. So create options for yourself. Always be on the lookout for other options. You don't have to pursue those options 100%, but just by having options in the back of your brain, when you're going around your business, you have options in the back of your head. Your brain says, okay, I can play it cool. I can be cool. I have options. I don't have to be acting needy. Okay? How do you get options if you're needy in the first place? Do what you gotta do, man. Play the numbers game. If it's about dating, try to approach as many girls as possible. By the law of numbers, you're gonna have options. And as you build options and you grow your confidence, you will get better at things. In terms of work, instead of applying to one position, apply to 100 positions. Go after 5 interviews, do all 5 or 10 interviews, and treat them with the same level of seriousness. That way you're creating options for yourself. You're tricking your brain to overcome your neediness. And that's the goal here. As you apply these 2 tips, having purpose and having options over an extended period of time, you will start to realize slowly but surely that your levels of neediness will decrease and your levels of confidence will increase. Remember, have fun with this. If you can do one of the two tips, that's great. If you can do both, even better. And enjoy the process. Have fun with this. You're on your journey to become a better person. Satisfaction comes from the process, not the end results. Okay? So keep at it. Best of luck to you, and I'll see you next time.